Welcome to That's What She Said. We're really happy that you're here. I'm Jessi, and I'm here with Denise.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us again this week.
Last week I sort of had Tourette's, but things will be better this week. We're going to start by talking about headlines in sports. Let's start with Redskins. We're just going to briefly talk about this because we will talk more when we talk about local sports.
Yeah, we can get into the Redskins pretty deep later on. But Redskins lost to Cincinnati, the Bengals, and it's their
fifth loss in 6 games.
Yeah, I mean, their season, they're at 7-7 record, but it's
a
only
wash.
it's only the second win. It's only the second win for Cincinnati. So
Yeah, one of
that's
the
interesting
lowliest
to
teams
see
in
that
NFL.
you know only the second win for a team happens to be over the Redskins. But moving on to better things.
Steelers. Let's talk about the Steelers. Yeah,
now, I know
the
your
Ravens.
family. Yes,
my family is crazy about them.
gung-ho Steeler
They do
fans.
like a Steelers seance. They've got like the terrible towel across the television.
And I bet you they have their mullets, right?
Yeah.
Like mom,
No, my
dad,
family doesn't have
brothers,
the mullets.
dogs. They don't have.
No.
Oh, because
No, I can still
wow.
hold my head high. No mullets, but
No,
definitely
I think,
Steelers
well, you know
pride.
that Pittsburgh fans are the #1 fans in the NFL in the country.
What does that
so
mean?
they travel the best, and they're
Highest
the most
ticket
supportive.
sales and stuff like that?
Oh, no. The most
Okay.
profitable team in the NFL, you'd be probably surprised, I don't know how I'm getting off track here a little bit, but is the Skins with Dan
What?
Snyder's ownership.
Really?
Yeah, we'll get into that
All
later.
right, okay,
But I
all
just
right.
thought I'd throw that out there. But the Skins do have the best fan base, and they travel with their team. They're not fair weather fans like the Eagles. Sorry for touching the microphone. Like the Eagles and the Redskins. But
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So
So,
Steelers
how about
beat
the
the
game?
Titans, yeah.
Steelers beat the Titans.
Yeah.
So it's
So
only
if
the
they-
second loss for the Titans.
Or no, wait,
now,
they beat
too.
the wait.
Why are you confusing me? They beat the Ravens. I'm like, the Texans
If they
beat the Titans. What are you talking about?
If they beat
Andre
the Titans,
Johnson.
they'll be the #1 seed in the AFC.
They have the Titans coming up this Sunday.
Yes.
So they beat up on Baltimore, which secured them the AFC North Division title. So they're first in the AFC North. Now, if they beat the Titans this weekend, then they're going to clinch that as well. They're going to be #1 in the AFC.
And I think defense is what wins championships, and their defense is second to none. So I think they're going to be,
That's why
they're
the game
looking
that we
really
had
good.
against Baltimore wasn't a really high-scoring game because both of those defenses are just outstanding and phenomenal. So, hey, there we have it. The Steelers on top of their game. Hopefully they can become that #1 seed in the AFC. I'd love to see it. But how about the Titans? Now, we got a little
Titans
thrown out. The Titans
lose to the Texans,
yes, they lost to the Texans. It's only their second loss this season.
And Hainsworth was injured in the 4th quarter.
Right, but better than that, Andre Johnson.
Oh, yes, setting records.
Yes,
setting records
over
for the team.
a 200-yard game.
Right.
He ran for over 200 yards in that one game.
First time for the Texans for that
Yes,
to occur.
he's the best receiver in the NFL, but yet as humble as can be.
Yeah.
Like, you don't hear much about Andre Johnson.
Yeah.
He's just one of those guys that's not going to create a lot of controversy, and he's not
Hasn't
going to
gotten
throw
arrested.
fits. He hasn't gotten arrested. He just goes out there and gets it done. And, you know,
Yeah.
there's signs always that people bring to the games that say, just play. You know what? He's the guy that just plays.
Yeah.
And I was shocked to find out that he is the best receiver in football, yet his humility is hands down one of the most endearing qualities that a player can have.
Yeah. I'm still thinking, though, that the Hainsworth injury could drastically change the defensive picture for the Titans in the playoffs, or as the playoffs
It
approach.
potentially can.
So
yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen there. We'll have to check it out.
We
and
will
see
have
what
to check
goes
that out.
on.
And talking about injured players, or not so much, well, still injured, but kicked off the team, the Giants now are down. They lost to the Cowboys.
Who would have thought that?
So now that's 2 consecutive losses for the Giants.
Yeah,
'cause
1-2
the Eagles
since
took them
Plexico
down.
shot himself in
That's
the
my
leg.
point. Yeah, that's my tie-in there to
Yeah.
our injured/kicked off players. They lost to the Eagles, then they lost to the Cowboys, all division games. So even though they are #1 in their division, the Giants, they're starting to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
And
is it because
it's sad to
Plexico's
see.
so valuable, or is it because they're just kind of thrown off their game now that they're getting this negative press?
I'm not sure it's either. I'm thinking the Eagles looked really strong. They finally got their crap together. And the Cowboys, you know, they looked pretty good. And I wonder if a lot of that had to do with the huge controversy that has been going on for some time now. T.O. actually came out last week and said that he thought Romo and Witten were in cahoots against him, not to get him the ball intentionally, and that Romo was just going to throw to Witten so he would get more, because, you know, they're on the road roommates and stuff, and they go back, and they're good buddies, and he felt like he were intentionally secluding him.
Yeah.
So with all that, you know, you thought all this big stuff was going to happen. What do we see on the sidelines this weekend? I don't know if you caught that game, but the three of them standing around cracking jokes. It was like picture right out of us.
Yeah.
Like, is that T.O. with Romo and Witten? Three of them literally pushing each other, laughing, joking. So that's controversy number one resolved. Second controversy, Zorn.
Ah, yes.
And Clayton Portis.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that, though, more when we talk about local sports, but
Yes.
there was definitely some interesting tension there on that radio show.
The John Thompson show.
Yeah, and before we go, let's also mention that the 76ers, you know, fired Maurice Cheeks.
They did.
So
but you know who they're looking at?
Who?
They're looking at the old Wizards coach, Eddie Jordan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so they're thinking
Okay.
that, you know, Eddie Jordan might be a potential replacement for
Okay.
Maurice Cheeks and the 76ers.
All right. Well, we have to take a break now, but we will be back. Wrong camera. We'll be back soon, and we're going to talk about more controversial issues in sports. Stay with us.
Inactive activities on a glorious day. Let's get out there and play!
Sweet. There are lots of great play ideas online.
Welcome back. So we cannot finish up the NFL without talking about the Eagles.
Yes.
They had the Monday night game last night.
Against
They
the
beat the
Browns.
Browns, which wasn't a surprise.
The Browns have lost 4 in a row.
Yeah,
so.
I've anticipated them beating the Browns, but now they're still a playoff hopeful.
Yes.
They need
have to win
win
the next 2, though.
They need to win on the road this weekend. Again, I'll be there to beat up on the Redskins. And then they need to beat Dallas. In addition to that, they need either Tampa Bay or Atlanta
to lose.
Yeah. So we're really going to root for those two, and then they're in.
Yeah.
So, hey, who would have thought the season that they were having with that inconsistent?
Yeah.
But you know who's been a standout, just before we move on from them, is the rookie, Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
Number 10 for the Eagles. I mean, he's just really been a playmaker this season, and I was shocked. But you remember when he did that showboating and he lost the ball early on in the season? I don't know if you saw it last night. Asante Samuel did the same thing.
Oh,
the
no.
difference was he recognized that he dropped it right before he went in. He released the ball, so he quickly picked it up in the end zone.
Okay.
So it wasn't, you know, the touchdown still counted. But what a rookie move for a guy who's not a rookie. He knows better
They all
than
make
that.
mistakes, I guess. Though. It's
But
okay.
for showing off a little.
Well,
Coach Gill from Buffalo.
Yeah,
what
so
do you
Turner
think?
Gill's passed over there for the Auburn position. And the interesting thing is that Charles Barkley said that, you know, this was racial discrimination.
That it could be, yeah.
Yeah. Now, last week, I did what my friend Rob called, you know, pulled a Conway West, where I started talking about
It's
discrimination.
nowhere near
in the
that bad, Jessi.
No, it wasn't. I didn't say, you know, President Bush hates black people, but I did talk about discrimination in the United States, and I'll just be careful because we want to get sponsors. So I'll go ahead and be politically correct and say African American.
But I thought
and so on
nothing
and
that
so
you
forth.
said was incorrect.
Yeah,
So.
but, you know, and maybe Charles Barkley's comment was flippant, you know, which a lot of people have kind of criticized him for, you know, criticizing his alma mater. But at the same time, you can't dismiss the claim because there's only 4 African-American coaches out of 119, is that
That's
right?
it. That's exactly it, yes.
So, and he's also incredibly qualified.
Yeah, Gill is. He's turned the Buffalo team around and really made them, you know, a strong football contender in college.
Yeah.
So I think he was better qualified for the position, but you know, I guess they went with one of the local guys. So I don't know.
They used this word though about how this other guy would fit, and I guess that was somewhat controversial because what does fit mean? You know, it's a little ambiguous.
I think that no. See, and I disagree. I think when you want to have a good fit, that's mostly personality, your style. You know, if you're sensitive to a certain kind of coaching style than somebody else, and what's the best fit for that team. So I wouldn't have thought that was racially driven at all.
Okay.
But you know, it is what it is. Yankees.
Oh yeah.
Signed 2 new pitchers for
Huge
over
money. Tons of
$200
money.
million.
It's the kind of money that makes me want to cry.
Yeah, but it's insane. I think they need to find those
It's a record
players.
deal for the pitcher.
Yeah, both those pitchers. I mean, really, how many
Yeah.
pitchers do you need? You need players that have heart, and they're going to not just the ones that want to collect the big salary.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. We'll see how the Yankees do with these 2 big stars that they included to their roster.
How about the economic meltdown hitting the NFL?
Laying off the refs.
So the NBA has laid off people, I guess I should say, and so has NASCAR. Now the NFL is the next one to join the ranks of those laying off
And
parts
who's
of the workforce.
the popular referee? Jeff Triplett?
Yeah.
Is that I know that you had mentioned his name in conjunction with that. Is that just bringing up a referee who had something going on? He had the injury this weekend?
Yeah.
Or is he a potential?
I don't know that he's a potential layoff.
Okay.
He just got a bloody nose this weekend.
Did you see
So,
that?
Yeah. It was kind of sad.
I feel bad when
I know.
referees get in the way.
I know, me too.
I really do.
But, you know, who was it? Preston? The guy who knocked him down
I
accidentally?
don't know. I didn't see it.
He went and he apologized to him after the game, which was nice. So that's
God
good.
love him.
Yeah. It was,
Yeah,
you know,
so you
it was
just
good.
don't see that as often,
Yeah.
you know, as we should.
Yeah. But I want to say that the NFL is going to cut 10% or more than 10%, they've said, of the workforce, which is kind of strange because their ticket sales are great, though they're saying that the tickets were sold in spring and in summer, so those sales aren't really indicative of what's to come in 2009. They're worried that ticket sales will decrease, of course.
Right. Well, in the Skins, Dan Snyder, take his whatever thoughts in, just keep raising prices, raising parking, and you can keep packing in the money.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to get, we're gonna have to kind of summarize that and touch on some of the other stuff, like University of Maryland men's soccer, who beat North Carolina to win the NCAA championship.
Yeah, good for them.
So summarize that, come back with some DC teams, and more with that when we come back.
Hi, my name is Jason Campbell.